Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the second game of day 3 at the IWBF Africa Championships. These are the World Champ qualifiers, and just before we start, we will be having Liberia in white facing off against South Africa in the green. This, of course, is a round-robin game, and we are looking forward to the electrifying game. Earlier, we just saw Algeria facing off against Morocco, and now we've got game 2 of the day, and South Africa on the floor against Liberia. And we are waiting to start. And I'll let you know who is starting for each of these teams. On the South African side, we've got Gilifile, Shongwane, Ngoni, Mokhanedi with the ball as she's rolling her way to the rim. She doesn't get the first basket to go. Nokwanda with the rebound, nothing so far. And they are on the board. That is South Africa. Quick start, and they are off playing for Liberia to start. We've got Justina, Odell, Venus, Elizabeth, and Annie. South Africa starting off with a full court press. Liberia just unable to get it inside. Hlongwane passes it over to Mokhanedi, but she's not able to connect, and the ball goes out of bounds. And we're considering the last 2 days, both teams have played 2 games so far. South Africa walking away with 2 wins, while Liberia having suffered losses against both Kenya as well as Algeria. Some top team performances coming in. And that full court press is going to force a 8-second violation just as they are able to get close enough to the halfway line. But of course now it is South Africa's turn. They'll be their third attempt at the offense. Liberia, unfortunately, letting Gilifile all the way in. Gilifile not able to connect the first one. Waiting for her rebound. She gets it to go. And South Africa have pushed it up to 4 points. And the full court press is in effect. Liberia are going to have to work hard to try and get through it. And of course, trying to execute a press break. But they're still having to pass the ball very shallow inside their own defensive half. She does push it over the line, but nobody is there to get the ball for them. And this ball goes out of bounds. Avuwe Ngoni taking the inbound over to Mokhanedi. And she will dribble her way through. Easily able, she sees the lane, able to hands it over. Gilifile with the ball. Gets the shot to go, and South Africa up to 6 points so far against Liberia. And I do believe it's going to be an intense affair. I mean, when it comes to talking about ratings and rankings of the team, South Africa are actually second on the continent, having considering this ranking from the last African Championships, which are the Paralympic qualifiers in 2023. Africa walking away with a silver at those games, only losing to Algeria. Having performed against Liberia before, Liberia in the state of a developing federation or performance-wise, they are looking to experience everything that they can, to kind of grow the game and to grow the skill set of these players. But South Africa is one tall mountain to get over. They've got seasoned players who have played in multiple Africa Championships, who have played in 3x3s, who have played under 25 at Worlds, and you are going to see quite a bit of that on display, and not just their display of skill sets, but coming in from the coaching staff as well, who will be there to guide and direct the South African team. And we've got 7 minutes to go of this first quarter. Gilifile back inside, gets the basket to go. pushes the score up to 8 points for South Africa. And we, like we said, we have 7 minutes to go. So we might just continue on one half of the court so far. Liberia looking to see who they can possibly. Justina passing it. Gilifile with the rebound. She is able to get 2 more points. And South Africa are into the double digits of this game. They're not unrelentless, not allowing anything to get past them. Only the dead ball, which is picked up there by coach. Luanda, they're able to collect, and she connects on the first attempt. And South Africa they're going to put all kinds of pressure on Liberia. And I think South Africa is using this opportunity to obviously look at how they're going to be executing their own game plans. They are obviously, that is a beautiful N1 there for Gilifile, able to get the basket, and she goes to the free throw line. As I was saying, South Africa will be looking to use some of the strategies that they get to practice in this game for that final, of course. I mean, that's obviously for the playoff series. They're looking to go all the way, and we hope that in their road to the final, they are able to calmly, collectively get in the kind of practices that they want in these kind of game situations. And of course, Liberia have a tough task to go by. Gilifile not able to connect with the rim, and it will be Liberia's ball on the side. South Africa so unrelenting, they're not even allowing the player to go and inbound the ball on that sideline. And Liberia are able to cross the court at this point. She needs to keep her head up and pass forward if her teammates are able to come. Doesn't quite get it. Nobuhle Qhiyi collecting the ball in the backcourt for South Africa. She dribbles it out. It's going to be looking for her teammates. Gives that over to Michelle Mukhanedi. And the foul is picked up by Liberia, which sends that back into the hands of South Africa. Mukhanedi finding Luanda on the far side of the court. Doesn't quite get that ball to connect. Liberia have the rebound. They're going to be looking to get over into the front court. She's holding on to it. Finds a teammate to pass to. But doesn't quite get the second pass to get out of that back court. South Africa have it easy right now, making good passes, being able to look at the rim, go all the way. Mukhanedi able to dribble around. She takes the shot, but comes off the side. Rebound fights from Gilifile. Sends it back out. Mukhanedi doesn't get it to connect. She sends it back over, and she's like, you know what, guys? I need you to keep shooting. Let's practice our shooting. We can do this all day from inside, but let's get some practice in and get some good shots in until we start making them. So South Africa will need to look at how they can convert those shots a bit better. And we are backhanded. Luanda goes close enough to the rim, doesn't quite get it. I do believe South Africa is rushing a little bit, and they need to take their time on those shots. They do have the chance of getting close enough to take the shots, so they should give themselves the patience in making good shots at this point. It is about efficiency. It is about the rate of success when taking your shots, because the stats will tell us how well you're actually shooting. You're having the best opportunities by collecting those steals and being able to openly shoot the ball, but we've got to make the best of it the first time around. later on when we're playing tougher teams, it is going to come in handy to be able to make good shots on the first try. No call, 3 seconds. I mean, they're barely getting back out of the key for this defense, so they've got to watch themselves when it comes to the transition from offense to defense in this kind of situation. Liberia looking, they make a long pass, and she is able to get into the front court. She gets the ball, pushes, takes the shot from far, under pressure from South Africa, chasing her down, but she doesn't get that one to go just yet. And of course, they will look to try and get that ball across the court similarly to how they just did. So they need to understand what the formula was. They got them across the court and able to get into a position to take a shot. Gilefile with the ball. She doesn't quite get that. Not a layup exactly, but based on the chances that South Africa is getting to take these shots, they do need to get better at making them on the first attempt. The rebounds won't always be so easy, especially because they have the height advantage currently. Liberia needs to start working on getting some picks, understanding how to get themselves free. But they do have one player who's gone all the way into the front court. And of course, she's hoping that her teammates will be able to get the ball into her hands. That being Grace. Grace does. But the Gilefile there with the size and the steal, and she's able to get that ball. Nokwanda, Shongwane doesn't make the shot. It does get tipped out, but Gilefile retains the ball. Ball is in the hands of Mukhanedi. Back to Gilefile. And they are struggling to make and convert shots. We've stayed most of the half in the backcourt of Liberia, and we are only making those shots on the second or third attempt. Pressure is on. That full court defense coming in. Doesn't quite connect. The passing not getting all the way there. The ball about to be rolled out. And it is Liberia ball. And we've got 3 minutes to go of this first quarter. And though the ball was rolled out by South Africa, it is an 8-second violation against Liberia. So the ball will return to South Africa's hands. We have some substitutions coming in. On the Liberian side, Vanessa Dennis coming in for Liberia and Duduzile Kwaza going in for South Africa. Now, Duduzile Kwaza is a veteran on the South African side. She's been playing with the South African national team as far back as 2016. So she's seen a lot of what African basketball looks like, as well as what the global game looks like. And we hope to see a bit more cleanup when it comes to those initial basket attempts under the rim from Duduzile, but she's also quite a good outside mid-range shooter. So we're looking to see how that is going to change the tempo of this game by including her. And of course, Nicodemus being there to guide the team and make those kind of decisions as to which players to put in. So the pass goes into the backcourt, but with nobody there to pick it up for them. Or, well, not nobody exactly, because South Africa are able to stop them from attempting. Kwaza first look at the rim, and unfortunate contact is called a foul. A charge was called against Duduzile, and that sends the ball back to Liberia. We have a little bit of a break as the player has to be helped up. She did fall backwards on that contact. She is up, she is good, and she will continue to play. Thank you very much, coaches, for attending to her there. And Elizabeth Nesta looking to gain position there. They are able to connect the pass to her. A little wild on the pass, but they would have had the opportunity to get that ball into the front court as Grace was alone there, and she could have made that additional pass all the way into that front court to Justina. South Africa back into it. They're going to attempt, give it over to Gilefile. collects the basket on the first attempt this time for the offense, and it is looking a bit better for South Africa with that. Of course, we look at the small things that they're trying to work on, things like making the attempt on the first try, being able to get themselves into position. Of course, the defensive setting up is a full court man, and I hope that that will work in their favor later on in the games for South Africa, as we still have a long week ahead of us. The finals are only on Tuesday, on the 2nd of April. So we are looking to see, we're going to be naming a champion of Africa this year. Number 1 position goes to world champs, and number 2 gets the opportunity to go to the repechage. And of course, that repechage will be taking place in Madrid for the ladies, and will be taking place in Thailand for the gentlemen. World champs for everybody will be in Canada. So you're going to be booking yourself a one-way ticket to Canada if you are crowned the champs of Africa. Ball is in the hands of Elizabeth Neste. She makes the pass over to Vanessa Dennis. Dennis has the ball. She looks up to see her teammates. And the shot clock has gone off. Well, the whistle has gone off. The shot clock down to 14 seconds is a backcourt violation. South Africa has done well in keeping this offensive charge up. They are unrelenting. They're not allowing Liberia any type of breathing space. Gilefile pushed inside. She doesn't collect on the first one, gets the rebound. Nothing on the second. And this is the kind of cleanup that we need happening on the first try. You will not have 3 attempts when you start playing teams that are to the same prowess as the South African team. Like I said, they're second on the continent, which means there is a number 1 who they still have to face. So if this is a practice game and they're trying to work on what they can, Dudizile Gwaza does well to collect on the first one there for themselves. If you are looking to practice and work your way towards the final, you want to make sure that you're practicing good habits. And the good habit would be to score on the first attempt. Nesta Elizabeth, she looks up, trying to get it into the front court. She does get it into the front court, but no teammate to connect with that ball for her. But Mukhanedi is there to clean that up for South Africa. And she starts pushing. She's waiting to see who she has, what she gets. But she's got all the way to the rim. First attempt, first try, first basket is good. Elizabeth with the ball. Looks for a teammate. Teammate's down the floor. She connects. Isn't able to get it into the hands of Justina. Duduzile now has the ball. Hands it over to Aviwe Ngoni. Comes off the right side of the rim. Still South Africa's ball. Gilefile for the and 1. She was fouled on that shooting shot. She goes to the free throw line. Basket is good. Shoots in 1 shot for South Africa, and that Gilefile there able to collect that for Team SA. And I also do believe that time has run out on this first quarter. Seconds on the clock are 3.1 waiting to close off this game. So Liberia have got to stay on the court. Gilefile has 1 free throw to make. And again, good practice time to make those in-game, at pace, and under duress. We have a technical explanation needing to happen. Shot clock needs to go all the way down to 2 seconds. 1 second on the shot clock. Gilefile not quite there when it comes to the free throws. Needs to connect with the rim, which gives her team the best chance when it comes to being able to clean up on a missed free throw. If it hits the rim, at least we are able to rebound and have another look and attempt at it. South Africa pull back a little bit on their defense as 3 of the Liberians are in the front court. She gets the ball over the line. And that is a wrap-up of the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. And as you can see, it has been a barrage of baskets coming in from South Africa. South Africa sitting on 24 points to Liberia, who have yet to score a basket just yet. We will take a 2-minute break, of course, and we'll be bringing you the second quarter shortly. Changes in the South African lineup, as well as some changes for the Liberians as well. We now have Marthelina on the floor for Liberia, along with some of the starting players. On the South African side, we have Kabido, Mbata, Agu, and Mosime, who are now in, having kept Duduzile Gwaza from that last lineup that was playing the first quarter. Gwaza collecting the first basket for South Africa in this quarter. Successfully so on her first try. And Liberia have a gap. They've received the ball inside, looking to pass it around. Not quite able to connect. Kabido collects the ball for South Africa. It is now in the hands of Mbata. Mbata looks over to Gwaza, who's inside. Gwaza gets her basket to go. And you know what? That shows you the veteran experience behind Duduzile Gwaza, who's able to make her baskets on her first attempt. It goes a long way to, like we said, the rest of this competition and how they're going to be playing. Liberia all the way into the front court, but not quite able to connect. Going out of bounds. And South Africa's pressure really is not stopping. The tempo has been kept up by the new players who have come onto this court, doing well to execute, of course, the plans of coach, bringing that in. Kibido looks up, doesn't quite get the shot. She gets her own rebound, passes it over to Gwaza. Gwaza does the work. And, of course, I think she is one of the most trusted players on the floor that we do have. And just to give you a rundown of what the first quarter looked like, South Africa forced Liberia into 21 turnovers. While they had only 5 of those turnovers, they scored all 28 points of that first quarter inside the key. And of course had 6 points on the fast break. South Africa took 34 shots in that first quarter and made 14 of them. Now, in terms of a ratio, especially with the ease that they're having to get to the rim, 14 out of 34 shots is below 50%, and they need to push that up. When you have the ability of having a practice game or a game where you are at the advantage and success rate, you need to capitalize on that the first time you're able to get it. Mbata there with an amazingly taken shot. Does well to go for her first attempt, first try, first shot made by Samkelisiwe Mbata. South Africa maintains that full court press. Mbata with the steal over to Gwaza. Gwaza's gonna push, she does. Looks to see what she has. She lines up for a shot. Some hands coming in from Liberia, a bit of a fight coming in now. And that interruption, that contesting of that shot makes it difficult for Gwaza to sink that. Hagu with the ball, hasn't had much time on the ball. 3 seconds has been called. And you know, when it's easy, you don't have the pressures that make you get pushed out, or at least the defensive aggression that forces you out of the key. And they must be careful on being called out on those 3-second violations as often as they have now. Looks inside, finds Tutukuzile Kwaza. Doesn't quite get it. Hagu with her first attempt. Gets it to go, and Hagu is also on the board for South Africa. Ball gone all the way into the front court for Liberia. The chase down, just not able to get into her hands. She did try her best to get there, reaching for it. Some aggression there coming in from Liberia. Some contact made through the chest. Kibido finding Kwaza. Kwaza too deep under the rim, but Hagu able to clean up with the rebound and the 2 extra points. And she's up to 4 points in this game. South Africa all the way up to 40. Neste with the ball. Kwaza able to get her hands on it before the fouled after that. And of course the fouls are not bad, but the fouls are coming in just from that intensity of needing to want to stop them. And we look forward to Liberia forcing a bit more of the difficulties in this game. Just a little hand up in the face before somebody shoots. Doesn't quite get the first of her 2 free throws. No connection on the second one. And now the ball goes to Liberia. And I think let's talk about the takeaways for Liberia in this game and what they need to work on when it comes to kind of facing teams who look to want to score as much as they can, because at some point it becomes a strategy for log standings, because out of the pool that they have, it becomes who's going to be in the best position so that when we go into the playoff series, they are able to be to play off against who they would like to play off. Ongezwa Hagu with another basket for not just herself, of course, for South Africa. And they've set up back into that deep pressure, deep force defense there. But they are able to get it close enough to the line. Nesta's waiting to find a teammate that she can pass the ball to, but it unfortunately doesn't happen. So how do they get out of these kind of situations? The best way is a press break. And the press break wants you to, one, set up in positions that allow you to make good passes to your teammates, as well as either setting up the pick and roll from teammates who are going to assist each other getting out of that backcourt, or being able to take off in terms of pushing into the front court so we can make those passes. Hagu going 4-4 from at the rim, and she's up to 8 points for herself. So being able to make passes that are going to be constructive to us breaking out of the backcourt is what Liberia should look to work on. Like I said, many of the teams look over at Liberia as a situation of we are trying to score as much as we possibly can. Statements are being made, but how does Liberia grow and develop out of this? Chair contact is a necessity, as well as a bit of aggression on the defense. What they need to be able to do is push back on that pressure that is coming in from a full court press. Set up a good position, be able to make use of bounce passes so that players who are taller are not always able to pick the ball out of the air. And I guess sometimes it gets frustrating, that foul coming in from Justina, and it was a bar-to-bar, front bar-to-front bar attack in terms of her defense. It does send Ongezwa Agu to the free throw line. Ball goes up. Not quite live, so we will take that again. A bit better as it does hit the rim, and it allows for the team to be able to rebound that. Ongezwa Agu for the free throw. Gets her own rebound. Goes up, but not able to get that one to go. Dinewo chases it down, but not able to collect it just yet. So it is Liberia ball. And what they should do is, Justina is in the front court, so she will be waiting for the receiving of the ball. Spread yourself out and try and get into a bit of position that will allow you to be able to make some good passes, as well as being able to pass into space and get your teammates picked out of these kind of situations so that they can get into position and find themselves making good passes. Pass from Bata to Kwaza. Kwaza makes good on her 2-point attempt. And we have pushed the score all the way up to 44 for South Africa. Nesta looking for somebody, and it is 8-second violation. So she will be starting, they will be starting on the offset. And it is in their best. 3 minutes and 22 seconds left of this game. We heard a whistle. No call, no basket given. Referee is calling 3 seconds on that one. So no basket there for Hagu. Unfortunately, that space passing is not quite what I was talking about, but to a certain degree. And there we go, but unprepared to receive that quick ball. Nesta loses that over the line. Elizabeth Nesta, the captain of the Liberian team. And if they're not careful, they're kind of floating around in the middle right now. If they're not careful, South Africa will make an advancing attack, but they have gone back onto defense. A bit of pressure there at the front. Elizabeth making sure that they have to pass. Good hands coming in. Kibido with the ball. Looks over to Kwaza. Kwaza unable to get it, but we've got Agu on the far side. Bounces right back out into her hands. Now we've hit the same problem that South Africa faced in the first quarter in the last 3 minutes again. They are unfortunately missing multiple attempts under the rim. The ball will stay with South Africa right now. Able to get it into Kwaza. Rattles in and out. And they're looking to get over the line. Justina over to Elizabeth. Elizabeth is pushing. She's going all the way. Takes the shot, but unable to quite get it. It is a battle there. Dineo Musime with the rebound. Gwaza pushes the ball into the front court. You've got Agu in position. She cruises to the basket, and she gets a basket for South Africa. And I do believe that she should be in double digits when it comes to her points for her team. Gwaza getting in the middle of the two players, able to find Musime. Doesn't quite get the basket up. And the ball is tossed into the front court. Samge Mbata with the defense, which would stop Elizabeth from pushing and chasing after that ball. Substitution on the Liberian side of things as Grace Mulba comes in for Liberia. Mbata with the ball. She hands it over to Kibido. The two of them bringing up the ball for South Africa. Kibido pushing around. Grace was looking to connect with Hagu, but not quite able to. Samge picks up the ball in the backcourt for South Africa. Hagu with the ball. Takes the shot. She makes the shot. And she has had a great quarter as a high success rate, high efficiency. And it is a toss into the front court. Now, in terms of setting up that press break, if you have somebody in that backcourt from the Liberian team able to potentially chase down such a ball, especially because if you look at how the ball was passed into the front court and how it rolled away, if you have one player at least in the safety position of receiving the ball, they will be able to get back into that position. And if you could see the backcourt right now, that is what Nesta has been able to get for herself. Duduzile Gwaza puts up two more for South Africa before we're going to finish off on this quarter. Reminder, this is the second quarter. Liberia have still yet to make a basket for their team. South Africa out to make a statement. And just like that, it is the end of the first half, ladies and gentlemen. South Africa have done well for themselves, putting up 52 points. Liberia working really hard to keep their heads up and stay in the game. We will be taking a 15-minute interval. Go and refresh yourself, get some snacks, get something to drink, and I will see you shortly.
Justina is in the front court, so she will be waiting for the receiving of the ball. Spread yourself out and try and get into a bit of position that will allow you to be able to make some good passes, as well as want to go into the playoff series. They are able to play off against who they would like. Ongezo go for the free throw. Gets her own rebound. Goes up but not able to get that one to go. Tineo chases it down but not able to collect it just yet. So it is Liberia ball. And what they should do is Justina is in the front court, so she will be waiting for the receiving of the ball. Spread yourself out and try and get into a bit of position that will allow you to be able to make some good passes, as well as being able to pass into space and get your teammates picked out of these kind of situations so that they can get into position and find themselves making good passes. Pass from Bata to Gwaza. Gwaza makes good on her. Doesn't quite get the basket up. So with the defense
And we are back into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Ongezo Hagu to start for South Africa, and she is able to get that to go. There's a bit of a complication happening on the side, but we will take some time to kind of look at the first half and talk about the first half. So yes, South Africa went 52-0, and I'll tell you how they did that. They scored all 52 points inside the key. They had 26 bench points, and of course, when we're talking about bench points, we're talking about the players who came off of the bench to start the game, who have come in to contribute. So we had 26 of the bench points coming in with the initial 28 from the starters. They did take 57 shots in the first half, and they made 26 of those, which is what has given them the 52 points. This is putting them at a 45% average, or a 45% success rate. And again, like we mentioned, that when we're talking about playing against tougher teams later on in the games, they do need to make sure that they have a better success rate. As a collective, they stole the ball 25 times, and of course, Dineo just added the 26th steal there with that play, and Ongezo added 2 more points, and she was sitting on 12 points in the first half. With her 2 back-to-back baskets, she's now sitting on 16. Dineo with another steal for South Africa, but not quite able to connect to Tuzile Kwaza. And she does apologize to the team, but well done for that steal. The pressure is on, and the ball does roll over into the front court all by itself. Now, South Africa has 3 players who are in the double-digit contributions from a point perspective, while also contributing high numbers for rebounds, total rebounds. As a collective, they had 21 offensive rebounds against Liberia's 13 defensive rebounds. Nokwanda passes. She's able to get that long pass. But too many passes inside, unfortunately, will turn the ball over for South Africa. South Africa has continued with the full court press, and of course it's giving them good successes in terms of getting opportunities to score immediately off of that, with Dineo putting on that pressure and able to get, and Samke does the same as she's able to get that steal. Ball goes over to Nokwanda. Unfortunate that late contact from Duduzile Kwaza is considered an offensive foul, the charge being called. So it will go to Liberia. Duduzile has 2 fouls so far in this game. Liberia able to get it close enough to the line. She needs to just look over, see a teammate. She does see the teammate trying to get the ball, but the attempted steal comes off of South Africa. So out of bounds now has pushed Liberia into the front court. So they will be playing, they will making their first inbound into in the front court. And they are able to get it in to Grace. Grace hands it over to Venus. Venus back over, but the pass is intercepted. No possession by anybody yet, so Liberia are able to hold on to it. And spatial awareness of the game, the current game. She passed it in the incorrect direction, actually passing it into their defensive half, and of course South Africa's front court. So now South Africa have the chance to inbound the ball from the baseline. Dineo receives it, passes it over to Nokwanda. Nokwanda collects 2 points for herself, and she will be pushing, she's inching closer towards the double-digit mark. They're struggling to get that ball across. They're still looking for the pass. 14 seconds, and of course that is an 8-second violation. And it was looking promising just as she was looking over to make that pass, the violation was called. And just looking again at some of the stats, South Africa have been able to force 42 turnovers against Liberia. And from those 42 turnovers, they've been able to score 42 points. So they've collected a basket on every turnover that they've created they've created through Liberia. In terms of personal fouls, total fouls, they've drawn 5 fouls against Liberia while only committing 2 fouls. And they're looking to pass it over. They are able to get it into the front court. The ball they're getting closer now. Ball went from Vivian. It was in the hands of Martha Lean, who unfortunately committed a travel by pushing her chair more than 3 times without dribbling the ball. And South Africa will, of course, advance into that front court. And they've set themselves up very quickly. You can see the defense, in fact, is who needs to recover into position to stop South Africa's attack. Hagu with the ball, passes it over to Nokwanda. Hlongwane collects, and that delivery coming in from Hagu's assist. Nokwanda with the completion of the basket. And the call for defense goes up from South Africa. So they're looking to see. And at this point, they're just passing the ball into the front court. They are hoping for the chase down. Grace was trying to give that chase down. She does push all the way into the front court, but not able to get to the ball itself. Now, in terms of strategy, that might work to a certain degree if she were to be in the front court to try and connect with it across court. But they will look towards how they can make that work for themselves as this game continues. Ongezwa Hagu with the ball. Has an open lane. Nokwanda gets into position. She takes the shot, but not quite. Nokwanda takes that shot, and she gets 2 more points. And the continued assault by Hagu and Nokwanda is going. And just to give you a name call lineup, we've got Nokwanda number 12, Gwaza 14, Dineo at number 6, Hagu number 10, and Mbata at number 4. For Liberia, I've got Grace at number 9, Venus at number 12, Elizabeth at number 22, Martha Lean at 14, and I'll give you Zelinda at number 5. Besides the line violation, it was looking promising in terms of them getting across the line on that inbound. They are able to push, so they've got 1 in the front court. She connects with the pass, needs to look up, sees it, but Dineo pushes a strong push, and she connects with Nokwanda. Nokwanda for the basket, doesn't quite get it. Gwaza with the rebound, and she gets that for South Africa. Of course, the big sister coming in for the cleanup for everybody. Needs to make a good pass. She sees the teammates there, but South Africa is great when it comes to that push, and they are able to get into the positions that are what we are seeing as steals. Mbata has the open lane, gives it over to Nokwanda. And it is back to just a barrage of shots coming in from South Africa. Of course, the number 2, according to the last rankings of the African women's basketball competitions. And of course, at the last competitions, Liberia, that was Liberia's first ever competition at the senior level. And since then, they, of course, are still bringing in and developing new players. Many of these players are new to the game, and they are still learning what they can when it comes to such experiences. And again, we commend the federation, we commend the coaches for continuing to assist their players in experiencing such things. And this will go a long way to developing basketball across the continent as a whole. And it's not just that Liberia are continuing to participate. It is that as countries themselves, we need to assist countries like Liberia and not only Liberia, but each other so that we can grow the game. Because one of our struggles is the international floor and the fact that we as a continent need to get better enough to be able to earn our spots into such competitions as the Paralympics and Commonwealth as we develop in this game. Luanda not able to get her first shot in. Luanda missed the second free throw. They were able to get the rebound and missed the shot on the second attempt as well. It rimmed out there. South Africa's ball again. Kwaza over to Dineo. Dineo takes the shot, and she gets her first point of the game. Dineo Mosime for South Africa. Shout out to the Northwest, of course, as we know. Well, I would know which provinces they're from. Agu passes over to Mbata. Mbata looks inside. She finds Nokwanda. Agu takes the shot, but it bounces out. Chased down. South Africa still have the rebound. Duduzile doesn't quite get it. And the battle continues. Foul called as Agu was putting her hands up for that shot. And Nokwanda needing to be convinced that she will be shooting too on that violation. And we've got 2 minutes left in this game. 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Let's see, she got 2 shots. What's she gonna give us? Nothing just yet. No shot made. Gets 1 out of the 2 shots. Nokwanda Shongwane makes the first free throw for South Africa, scoring the first out of their 6 tries in the first half, and the second that they've gone into now. Agu with the ball in the front court. Samke with the assist, but not quite getting it. Nokwanda finishing off for South Africa. Ball, Zelinda is able to receive it, but their second the pass trying to connect from Venus, not quite able to get that to go. Mbata to Kwaza. Kwaza takes a shot. Nokwanda is there for cleanup. And we have that cleanup. Calm, cool, collected in there by Nokwanda. Samke, the tip comes in from Dineo to Duzile at the rim. Gets that to go. And we're winding down to the last minute of this game, the last bit of it, or the last part of this third quarter. So it is just, there is definitely a target in the way that South Africa is playing for scoring. So we will look to see what how they finish off this game. And of course, at this point, Liberia's objective is to try and get into the front court. They haven't had many opportunities to take a shot, and every shot that they've taken was under pressure. So in that first half, they only actually took 2 attempts, and of those 2 attempts, they haven't been able to score. And South Africa are back into the front court. The ball is in Agu. No pressure, so she can look around, see what her best option is. Nokwanda passes it over to Kwaza. Kwaza collecting, and it is an assault from the South Africans, just continuing to score, continuing to pressurize the defense and make it very difficult. And in these instances where the ball is being passed right into their hands, Nokwanda takes the shot, but doesn't quite get it. Agu finishes up. And that is the end of the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen. The score is sitting at 79 points to 0 for South Africa. We have one more quarter to go. And if you are still with us, I hope that you will sticking with us throughout the afternoon. We will have an electrifying matchup after this game. We will be switching courts. So the first two games for today were women's games. Shout out to women empowerment. But now we're going to be going over to the men's side of things, and we're going to be looking at the afternoon games that are coming in. We are going to be having a North African battle. It's going to be a showdown as we have Egypt versus Morocco. It is a Pool B game. We will be seeing Egypt face off against the Moroccans. Morocco won yesterday in their first encounter of the game. So we want to see what they've worked on, what they're able to bring onto the floor. Now, if you're wondering how and where you're going to catch it, you're going to catch it on the same live stream. Well, you're going to catch it on the same page that we currently have, TMT3x3. Join us. The link for that one will be going up a bit later once we've set everything up. But I look forward to being there with you as we give you the rundown of that men's matchup. Luanda not able to get her first
shot. Missed the second. Dineo takes the shot, and she gets her first point of the game. Agu takes the shot, but it bounces out. Chased down Zile.
And we're right back into it. I didn't even have a chance to take a little break, drink some water, refresh myself as I'm going to be talking you through this final quarter. We have one substitution on the South African side of things. We have Unolita Kibido coming in for South Africa.
The two, and of course, at this
as
point,
coach is of course looking at around at what we're going to be doing. There was an unsportsmanlike foul called,
and it is a Luanda takes the shot, but doesn't quite get it. Agu finishes up.
to Duzile Kwaza for the free throw. Unable to connect that one for South Africa. And with an unsportsmanlike foul, you have 2 shots to make, as well as then you retain possession of the ball. Kwaza takes a second shot, and she makes it. That puts South Africa 2 free throws made out of the 8 that they've taken so far. The 10, actually, that they've taken so far. Kibido to Duzile, to Nokwanda. Doesn't quite get it, but Mbata with the rebound. Back over. And the movement of the ball is one thing to commend for South Africa. Nobody's being particularly selfish. They've got keeping their heads up. They are passing the ball to the best opportunity amongst themselves. And that just speaks well to the team dynamic so far. Mbata with the ball, bringing that up for South Africa, and it's her and Kibido bringing that over. They're in position. Dineo takes the shot, doesn't get that to fall. Nokwanda also not able to collect that one. There was a bit of pressure coming in from Liberia. So we will look to see how how they end this quarter. They are all the way up to 80 points now. And in such a situation, I assume that they're targeting 100 points. What that will do for them on the log standings, it might separate them away from some of the other teams that have played. Algeria, of course, in a really good position. They've also won all of their games so far. And it's going to become a matter of the log standing. In the playoff series, it is number 1 facing off against number 4 and number 2 facing off against number 3. Now, South Africa has played Morocco and Angola. They have yet to play Kenya, and they are now playing Liberia. So they would have picked up 3 wins so far, while Algeria also played against Morocco earlier today, and they've had great successes against both Kenya and Angola. No call made against South Africa there, and it is a 3 seconds violation. We're just under 8 minutes to play in this game. We're sitting at about 7.5 minutes to go. And South Africa on 82 points. Dineo Musime there on the floor. Bata goes around. She's able to get almost over the line, makes the pass, doesn't get it. And 8 seconds have been called. South Africa, the communication coming in there. Great finish by Nokwanda. Comes in from Samke's encouragement. Push inside and you will receive the ball. And they've done that well for themselves. They continue. And she gets into the front court. We're now looking to see if she can connects with a teammate. Venus there to just unable to get that. And you know, they need to just compose themselves a little better. Some of the passes not connecting because they're rushed the look and they want to be able to get to that other side. Marthelina with the ball. She passes it over to Venus. Venus now looking inside. Finds Odell. But Nokwanda is there to steal the ball. Samge Mbata, pass it over to Kibido. Kibido with the basket for South Africa. And they are inching closer and closer to their target. Like I said, nobody's selfish. Everybody wants to be on the ball. They are sharing the ball in ways that allows for their teammates to make baskets. Liberia just passing the ball out of bounds. Nokwanda fouled as she was attempting that basket, so that will send her to the free throw line, shooting for 2. At this point, it is now a matter of the free throws. Can they increase their success rate on free throws? Can they take these opportunities to make good free throws and take those and get those right? Nokwanda takes the first one, doesn't quite get it yet. She repositions herself on the line. Takes the second one, and she makes 1 out of 2 free throws. And we will be congratulating her for that one. Liberia with the ball. They bring it in. Venus with it now. So she makes a long pass, but not quite able to connect it. We've got 4 minutes to go of this encounter. South Africa versus Liberia. Almost losing it, but they are there to collect it. Kibido goes in, takes the shot, doesn't get it, but she gets the rebound, pass it over to Nokwanda. Nokwanda gets that one to go for South Africa. And they've got just under 4 minutes to keep going at this and to hit the targets that they are looking to hit. Samgelesiwe in the right position to steal that for South Africa. Kwaza now has it. She passes it over to Hlongwane. Nokwanda Hlongwane makes it. Pressure coming in there from Nokwanda. And the steal happens from Samgelesiwe. Makes a pass to Nokwanda. Doesn't quite get it. The rebound is in Liberia's hands. Makes a wild pass, but Kibido there for the collection. Dinewo now with that rebound. And it is 2 more points for South Africa. At this point, even the inbound is a struggle as South Africa are unrelenting. They are making sure that the pressure is on against Liberia. They've got a target to hit, of course, Coach Nicodemus, wanting his team to work on what they need to work on, of which not able to connect on that one. She was off balance. The ball goes up, but it goes out of bounds. And just like that, we have a full 5 substitution. Two minutes left of this game. Hagu with the basket. And we are continuing. They are getting closer and closer to that 100-point mark. Mokhanedi picks up the ball in the front court, passes that over to Agu. Agu over to Mokhanedi. Is she going to pull up? She does. Not getting it just yet. And it is South Africa's ball. Nobuhle Kliyu on the line. Pass it over to Mokhanedi. Agu is there for the collect. She got fouled definitely on that one. So she will be going to the free throw line as she was shooting too. Agu still looking for that free throw, not able to connect on the first one. And we have the correct score up. It is 97 points that they have. Doesn't get that. Michelle with the rebound. Doesn't get that to go, so they're still looking to inch closer to that. Now, if it wasn't for the speed of South Africa against Liberia, they might be able to successfully push into that backcourt to collect that rolling ball. Michelle with the ball over to Agu. Agu gets fouled, and she will be going back to the free throw line. Ongezwa Hagu, who makes her first free throw, and that looks clean and well taken. Doesn't quite get the second one to fall. They need 2 points to hit the mark. Waiting to get it. The right aggression on that defense coming in for Liberia, and you know what? It is a reward because now she has the ball. She's going forward with her teammates. Passes that into the front court now on that press break. Like I said, if you've got that middle player who can make the cross-court chase down, they will be able to get that. We've got about a minute left of this game. Mushal Mukhanedi with the ball. Looks up to her teammates. Asive Kilefile goes to the basket. Gets the 2 points to go. And it is the big 100 on the board. South Africa have hit the target. And the pressure is still up. They send Ongezwa back to the free throw line. Doesn't quite get that first one to fall. Ooh, and it just goes over the front lip of the rim. Doesn't get that second attempt up. Avi were able to deflect it back into the hands of Asive. Asive over to Michelle Mukhanedi to Hagu. And again, the sharing of the ball from South Africa so that the best person in the best position can take the shot. Liberia, they come in the hands from Aviwe, keeping the ball alive for South Africa. What a pass from Mukhanedi over to Hagu, who makes that shot. And the game isn't over until the game is over. And this will be the last seconds of this game. All you have is a chance to steal it and get one shot up for South Africa. They do inbound it. No steal happening. This would have been the perfect opportunity. This is what it takes. Can they get the basket? No, they don't. They didn't have the time to do it. But that was the success story. They were able to get into the front court. It looked like a good press break. They just ran out of time to collect that. South Africa rolling out of the court, off the court with a spectacular performance. We are looking to see how they're going to be taking the experiences that they've gained from this into the playoff series, walking away with a 102-point win over Liberia. Congratulations, ladies. Like I mentioned, do join us again on the second link. We will be shifting over to men's games where we will have a look at Egypt facing off against Morocco. It is a North Africa derby, and we look forward to what we are going to see. My name is Tuna Panyana. I am live from the Kilamba Arena in Luanda, Angola, bringing you the IWBF 2026 Africa Championship and World Champs qualifiers. Goodbye for now.
As well as being able to pass into space and
get your teammates picked out of these kind of situations so that they can. Luanda not able to get her first shot. Missed the second. Dineo takes the shot,
and she gets her first point of the game.
Agu takes
the shot, but it bounces out.
chase down, Zdile.
Doesn't quite
Get it. And the battle
Continues. One out of the two, and of course,
point.
Kibido.
Kibido with the basket for South Africa. Luanda fouled and shoot. Takes the second one and she makes 1 out of 2 free throws. I guess that one to go for South Africa. Luanda from Luanda makes it. Makes a pass to Luanda. Doesn't quite get it. 2 minutes left of this game. with the basket. She got fouled definitely on that one. So she will be going to the points that they have. Doesn't get that. Michelle with the two, the rebound. Doesn't get. Michelle with the ball over to Agu. Agu gets fouled. Ongezo Agu. Makes a first free throw and doesn't quite get the second one to fall. Looks up to her teammates as Civic Kilifile goes to the basket. Gets the 2 points to go. She's still up. They send Onges up. 80 over 2. Agu, who makes that shot. They didn't have the they can get into position and find themselves making good passes. Pass from Bata to Gwaza. Gwaza makes good on her. Doesn't quite get the basket up. So with the
Defense, which
and they're looking to Pagu with the ball. Passes it over to Luanda. Luanda collects the ball and she gets that for South Africa. Teammates there, but South Africa is a great winner and gives it over to Luanda. And it is back. Luanda not able to get her first shot. Luanda missed the second. Now takes the shot and she gets her first point of the game. Agu takes the shot, but it bounces out. Chased down. Stevie doesn't quite get it. And the battle continues. Gets one out over the two. And of course, at this point, Luanda passes it over to Quaza. Quaza connecting. And it is Luanda takes the shot, but doesn't quite get it. Agu finishes up